Welcome to our tutorial on how to work with Onteon and applications. Onteon is a software stack to orchestrate, scale, communicate and manage modern and legacy applications in an efficient and effortless way. No matter if it's containerized or non-containerized. It runs on-premise, in the cloud and in hybrid environments. You can learn more from our official documentation on onteon.com/docs, where you also find a quick start section.
Hi everyone. In this video I will show you Onteon's basics. We can describe Onteon as a software stack to orchestrate, scale, communicate and manage modern and legacy applications in an efficient and effortless way, no matter if it's containerized or non-containerized. It runs on-premise, in the cloud or hybrid. Our software solves customers' complexity problems and costly IT environments to provide applications and services. It also supports maintaining their legacy applications and transition journey from traditional to modern distributed architectures. Let's start with the architecture of Onteon. Onteon cluster contains node with control center and nodes with node manager. Control center sends commands to node managers and makes all decisions about the cluster. Node managers are responsible for supervising everything in scope of the single OS. You can also install optional tool called Scenario. It's used for monitoring and logs management. To communicate with the cluster, you can use API or command line tool called Onteon CLI. Control Center can be clustered to make the installation highly available, which is desired for production environments. In development environments, you can use single node installation. Clustered installation requires shared directories between all instances. These directories are used to store files like, for example, application archives. For this pool of instances, load balancer can be used to route traffic to every instance on specified port. The IP address of URL which routes traffic to this instance pool is used as a cluster URL. This URL is used to access API or by Onteon CLI tool. Also, node managers are registering to cluster using that URL. Node Manager is installed on every node that is used to run users' applications. It supervises them, checks their health, and monitors them. Node Managers run some other components such as inner and edge load balancers, fluentd for logs gathering, or metric bit for instance monitoring. Applications being run by Node Managers can be Docker containers or native applications. Native applications are just processes being run on the OS. For example, static binary file compiled from C that can be run on the machine. Most of the applications are accessed through HTTP protocol, and that's why there are load balancers. Inner load balancer is designed to be used by applications and not by external users. Inner load balancer's port can be blocked for external access to protect your environment. Edge load balancer's port can be used for external load balancer's configuration. This way you can cover a pool of nodes with simple point of access. Every instance of load balancers have the information about the whole environment and will route traffic to proper process. Thanks to that, it doesn't matter to which instance the request will be routed, because Onteon's load balancer will route the request to proper location. Even layer 4 load balancer are possible to be used. Scenario is installed on another pool of nodes dedicated to monitoring system. It is using Kibana and Elasticsearch from Elk Stack to gather data. In front of Elasticsearch, additional queue is added to buffer requests from the agents and tracers. So in case of performance issues with Elasticsearch, they won't be lost. They will eventually be sent to the database and can be viewed from Kibana. It's very important, as when there is a spike in the number of requests to Elasticsearch, probably something bad is happening in the environment. And getting data from the particular event is very important. We don't want our system to drop them due to the problem with processing. Data are being sent from the nodes by metric bit and fluentd. Now let's define some basic definitions. The first element is a node. You probably know what the node is, but technically node is an instance of Node Manager running on some operating system. And this instance is bounded to some IP address and port. Nodes can be grouped into zones, and zones also can be grouped into zones. This way can be created structure like with files and directories. Zones will be used for some aspects in terms of communication and for other features in the future. Because not only containerized applications can be run, but also native ones, Onteon has concept of objects called applications. They contain configuration and files used to create application instance. And application instance is another type of object. So application is like a template. And from that template, you can create application instance. When application instance is started, then there is a matching process in operating system. There are also some other type of objects, for example, roles that define access to operations and are set for user in authentication provider. Distributions and scripts used to define how application instance should be automatically created. Application change, that is a definition of upgrade.